Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline the 7th of September 2024. This week's headlines. Refugee B-Girl disqualified for message at Olympics. Mohammad Hadi Mofateh, director of the Islamic Center, must leave Germany in 14 days. The CIA says the Swift concert plotters planned to kill a huge number. Russian fighters are to leave Burkina Faso for Ukraine. Protests in Israel and the UK suspends some arms export licenses. Shocking abuse revealed in Ireland's religious schools. The NSS raises concerns with the BBC over an interview with an extremist imam. Australia's internet watchdog says she received death threats after ex's refusal to remove videos of a religiously motivated Sydney church stabbing. Prince William is rumoured to be toying with ending the religious coronation oath. And Saudi Arabia is moving to teaching moderate Islam. Here is the news in detail. Refugee athlete Manisa Talash was disqualified for displaying the words "Free Afghan Women" on her outfit during her Olympic breaking battle in Paris. The Afghan, who was competing for the refugee Olympic team as B-Girl Talash, had the message emblazoned in large letters on a cape she wore in her pre-qualifying battle against India of the Netherlands as the dance sport made its games debut. Talash lost, but was later also disqualified because Rule 50 of the Olympic Charter states no kind of demonstration of political, religious or racial propaganda is permitted in any Olympic sites, venues or other areas. She told reporters, "I wanted to show people what is possible." Talash, originally from Kabul, now lives in Spain and fled Afghanistan after the Taliban returned to power in 2021 and effectively banned music and dancing and banned females from classrooms and gyms. The Taliban say they respect women's rights in line with Sharia law. Germany banned the Islamic Center and Blue Mosque, which are an extremist arm of Islamic regime, a few weeks ago. Now, Mohammad Hadi Mofateh, the director of the Islamic Center, must leave Germany within 14 days. See this video. The CIA says the suspects in the foiled plot to attack a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna wanted to kill a huge number of people at the event. On Wednesday, CIA's Deputy Director David Cohen highlighted that there were tens of thousands of people at this concert, I am sure many Americans. He added that the suspects' plans were advanced. 3 male teenage suspects were arrested in connection with the foiled attacks, allegedly inspired by the Islamic State group. The intelligence provided by the agency to Austrian authorities allowed them to disrupt the plot and save hundreds of lives. Burkina Faso, like its neighbours Mali and Niger, is battling various Islamist groups which operate in the semi-arid Sahel region south of the Sahara Desert. The military has seized power in all 3 countries, and formed the Alliance of Sahel States. They have cut ties with former colonial power France and befriended Russia instead, buying weapons and deploying fighters from the mercenary Wagner group, now known as the Africa Corps. Russia is withdrawing 100 of its paramilitary officers from Burkina Faso to help in the war against Ukraine. They are part of about 300 soldiers from the Bear Brigade, a Russian private military company who arrived in the West African nation in May to support the country's military junta. The UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy has said the UK is suspending about 30 arms export licenses to Israel. Israel's foreign minister said this sent a very problematic message to Iran. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the country he was begging for your forgiveness during a press conference for not bringing back alive the 6 hostages whose bodies were recovered from Gaza on Saturday. US President Joe Biden says Netanyahu is not doing enough to secure a hostage deal and ceasefire with Hamas. Protests have been taking place across Israel, including outside Netanyahu's residences in Jerusalem and the town of Caesarea, calling for the government to secure a hostage deal with Hamas. There were almost 2,400 allegations of sexual abuse in more than 300 schools run by religious orders in Ireland, according to a report commissioned by the Irish government. The Education Minister, Norma Foley, said the report found there were 884 alleged abusers in 42 orders which formerly ran schools or still do. The body, which represents Catholic religious orders, said it was deeply sorry about the abuse which had happened in schools. The NSS has raised concerns with the BBC after a presenter introduced an imam as highly respected without acknowledging his extremist views. Haytham al-Haddad, pictured second left with the Taliban Minister of Foreign Affairs, was interviewed by BBC Radio London's Asad Ahmad last month about far-right violence and extremism in the UK. In 2018, Sarah Khan, the lead Commissioner for Countering Extremism, said, Haytham al-Haddad's views are misogynistic, racist and homophobic. They promote a supremacist us versus them worldview that wrongly makes Muslims feel that they can't be fully British. BBC editorial guidelines on impartiality state, particular viewpoints of contributors should be made available to the audience when relevant to the context. So, al-Haddad has said in the past, Islamically approved female circumcision is better for the husband and a virtue or honour for women. According to the Times, he believes all Western women should submit to Allah and wear the niqab. On domestic violence, al-Haddad says a man should not be questioned why he hit his wife because this is something between them. Al-Haddad said, the younger the better, when asked for advice on the best age for a teenage girl to marry. He has described homosexuality as a criminal act and, according to the BBC, believes God hates homosexuals. Australia's internet watchdog says she received death threats and that her children were doxed after she was targeted by Elon Musk for attempting to regulate his social media platform. Earlier this year, the E-Safety Commissioner took X to court over its refusal to remove videos of a religiously motivated Sydney church stabbing for its global users. The case was ultimately dropped, but Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant said she received an avalanche of online abuse after Mr. Musk called her the censorship commissar in a post to his 196 million followers. Speaking to the BBC, Mrs. Inman Grant said that Mr. Musk's decision to use disinformation to suggest that she was trying to globally censor the internet had amounted to a dog whistle from a very powerful tech billionaire who owns his own megaphone. She said that the torrent of online vitriol which followed had prompted Australian police to warn her against travelling to the US, and that the names of her children and other family members had been released across the internet. There have been threats to my employees, my family, threats to my safety, including credible death threats. I've had to involve the federal and local police and change my movements, she said. These aren't just mean words where there's a lack of resilience. These are threats of harm that can very easily spill over into real-world violence. Prince William is rumoured to be considering foregoing the religious oaths at his coronation, which could lead to separation of religion and state. An unknown source recently told the Mail on Sunday that William is toying with the idea of abolishing the religious oaths of the coronation, potentially leading to the disestablishment of the Church of England. British monarchs must swear to maintain the Church of England at their coronation, which is itself an Anglican ceremony. They must also swear that they are a faithful Protestant. Catholics are explicitly prohibited from becoming monarch. The monarch also holds the title Defender of the Faith and Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Removing these oaths would therefore call the establishment status of the Church into question. Saudi Arabia is moving to teaching moderate Islam. See this video.
We only want to go back to what we were, the moderate Islam that is open to the world, open to all the religions. %70 of the Saudi people are less than 30 years old, and quite frankly, we will not waste 30 years of our lives in dealing with extremist ideas. We will destroy them today. We want to live a normal life, a life that translates our moderate religion, our good customs. We coexist and live with the world and contribute to the development of our country and the world. This is something that there are steps that we have taken in the past that are clear. I believe that we will eradicate the rest of extremism very soon.
Following this news, I will be chatting with Christine Wynn, who is a kinesthetist. Find out. Come and join in by text. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.